Hello guys, welcome to another video. I have done it. Wisco. Yep, I've done it. Wisco map. Also, would like to thank Potassium 1311 for giving me good advice, and I will be doing geography just a little bit. Um, yeah, hence rivers and stuff. Yeah, I added rivers, so that's nice. And lakes. Oh, and I added lakes too. Lakes. Big lakes. Also, don't question why the water is purple. It just is. Okay, so with that, let's get started. Subscribe. Nice. He's nice. Nice guy. Thank you. Thank you, Potassium. I will keep all of this into consideration, especially the big cities and when surrenders were good. I will do that more often because my surrenders, that's the wrong one. My surrenders are a bit wonky. It's usually when they're weak and already gone basically and collapsing. So let's get right into it. So civilization starts. Go die. No, just a little baby. Just a little baby. Just a little baby. You know what? Let's see. I mean, can you even see it? Chloe, come here. My dog's still barking. Chloe, come here. My dog. So as time goes on, sure they get a little bigger here and there, and there's a lot of desert here. So yeah. Also, if you guys want me to record videos about me like playing war type games, I can totally do that. I play Warnament every here and there, so I could totally make videos about Warnament. Yeah, you can just like recommend me good online war games that you guys like. I could totally play them. Yeah. I also I do check comments, but not often as I am a very busy guy. I know, crazy. I do a lot of sports. Yeah, yeah. I do gymnastics and like if you don't know what this is, look it up. Artistic swimming or like synchronized swimming. Pretty cool. So, time goes on. Let's continue. Time goes on. They get a little bigger, but more people start coming to live in this nation and they get bigger with this as time goes on. They expand across the coast since the coast is like the only water they can get. And they keep going slowly but surely, making their way to their first island, and they manage to cross and take it all. But there's not much here, so they end up just leaving, not dealing with it. Since it's a bad island. They call it Horrible Island with no resources. Although some people go back and say, no, this is a good island, we should keep it. And this just goes on and on, and eventually they keep it, but they only keep the coast. Coast is where all the good stuff is at, basically. Yeah, so now that now they have a little island. Cool. All right off the coast. They slowly start expanding across the empire. Damn, they're like far from any rivers at all. That's gonna be a hot minute till they get to that. Let's just skip a few years. As time goes on, they eventually take the island for all theirs. Yeah, so now as time goes on, they start expanding and strengthening up, expanding more broad, now reaching farther lengths than before. Keep expanding across the coast. You know, life is good expanding across the coast. I just realized, why does this look like this? Oh, you want to see what really weird without the borders? This just looks wrong, man. What is this? This is just weird. It's just weird. This is really weird. Yeah. Continue. They just really all they're doing is expanding across the coast. But of course, their king is like money. Yes, they have a money-hungry king. He likes money and stuff. He would needs thy riches to please his unforgiving hunger of money. Keep expanding. Eventually, small boats slowly make it across and start. Okay, that was the wrong pixel to call it. Make it across and start slowly claiming land as they've never been here, and eventually the whole island is theirs. Well, they're starting to pick up. They're starting to do some island stuff. Nice. But eventually, something bad happens. Not enough food. Standing stops. The great. Not enough food, so now there's a humongous food shortage, which is awesome for them. So that's not good. So now people are getting mad, and it's not looking good for these guys. You know, when people get mad, you see rebellions start, and well. One did not start. I'm just kidding. You thought. Actually, let me just. What's the capital? What's the capital city? Right on along the coast. You thought it was rebellion. So it'll be in six. Capital's be in six, and small cities will be on nine. They have one other city down here in the south. And as time goes on, the food shortage gets worse, and people start traveling looking for lands. But they're not claiming any of the travelers as their land, because then they would just, the land would look like this. They would look really awkward, and one of them went all over the place. Like, yeah, it would just look really weird. Yeah, it would just look awful. So as time goes on, people get mad, and well, now rebellion starts. The people push and push. The Reds not being able to hold. Um, yeah, it's not fun when you're not able to hold down a rebellion, especially one that's starving, and your troops are starving, and everyone's starving. It's not fun to try to hold that down. So they keep pushing on. You know what really sucks? There's a city right here. They're like, oh no, we cannot lose the city. Your main goal now is to not let this city collapse. But if I... Oh, good, it doesn't color it over. That's nice. As keep pushing and pushing on, it kind of reaches stalemate. Battles just keep fighting and keep fighting. The sand dunes keep sanding. And they create a little spearhead, push through, and they try to circle right here. This, and eventually they kind of just start sieging. Right here because they are completely encircled and good. They keep pushing on. As they realize these encirclements are actually really good, so they try to do another one, and it works. And boop. Somehow these guys still haven't fallen, and never mind. So another goal is to push down and circle all of this, but that's probably not going to end well since that's actually really hard to do. And actually, they get encircled here, and they get pushed back up here, which means these guys can't. It sucks, of course. Now they have to push back into the start and try to capture this, but it's already gone, and they get pushed back. These guys captured. So now it's kind of a stalemate. Not many things happening. Eventually, they request peace, and it is sought upon, and they claim all of this, which is nice. They didn't, which is even better for these guys, the Reds, because their city didn't collapse, which is yay. Their city didn't get captured. Now, not wanting to go up there, they start expanding in the south, still having a really bad food shortage. They said that these expeditions will find food. Kind of does. Kind of. Sounds a bit more farming land. These guys having the same problem now. Of course, food shortage. What is wrong with my throat? Yeah, food shortage. They also start expanding, looking for farmland, hoping and praying that they will find farmland. Because boy, oh boy, they're dying up in here. These guys, the Reds, they start expanding a bit north or up. Oh no, is this north? Yeah, it's pretty north. Get up here, they're fine. As the coast people keep expanding and expanding, they hear about something. A great explorer decides to go on a great vantage. He leaves to the southernmost tip. They don't claim his land, but they want to hear about it. He keeps going. He makes a pit stop here and stops here. Then he keeps going and just keeps on going. Needing food and water, he stops right here, which is his second pit stop. And he actually goes up along the coast and keeps going. Keeps on going. He leaves the coast. This is the greatest yeah. The boat he's been lugging with him is starting to break, so he decides to use it. And he goes to the coast and uses it. And he doesn't get too far, because then it starts sinking, and he sinks. And he slowly drifts to shore after he. Now that he's on shore, it's pretty big. It's pretty hard to do all this. He just keeps walking. He doesn't know what to do. Thinking he's heading towards civilization. He hopes that he's gonna find something. But he dies here. Right here. Wow. So close. Is this technically the Nile? This is technically the Nile, right? Which one does the Nile come from? Does it come from this one? This one. I think it comes from the big eyeball. So, well, that was very short-lived. Someone else tries to retrace. About a team of 10 people try to retrace his steps, though. Start off fine, you know, they're actually doing good. They're actually retracing them. They don't make the pit stop there. They're also lugging 2 boats, which is nice. Oh my god. And they actually cut through here, make the landing here, and explore this island fully. Or going to the other island and exploring it fully. And they go on an adventure with their boats. Why does it look like that? Should either be landing again. So, kind of the same, sort of. Keep walking. They actually end up walking north, but then they grave turn south, and 3 of the people, 4 of the people have died now, and they make north, and they find a river. Wow! Instantly, they start heading back and trying to retrace their steps. Now, learning about this new great river, they sprint their way back, not having much water. They have to get to the coast quick, and they do. Now leaving, they sail back in this kind of same way that they came. Landed, gone up here, they went through here, and they had to make a pit stop in the exact same spot because his hut and stuff was still set up. That was nice. The original explorer. His name is Manka the Great Explorer. This is his most grand expedition, and they make it back. They instantly inform them. Cool river over here, guys. A lot of fertile land. A lot of fertile land. And they hear about this and they're like, where is this so-called magical? Oh my god. I wonder if you guys can hear this. Can you hear the clicking? Okay, so they send out a huge team and they make it here. Eventually, very little people live here now. Now, just a little itty bitty dot. Little they know, sends them to the biggest place. So they start expanding to try to get to the coast, and they find out that this place is full of food and fertile land. So they are shocked and they want to go there now. Expanding with everything they get, what they got, they can't expand anymore. They run out of land. Now let's see what's up with these guys, you know. Okay, that was not the right button. They've actually expanded a good amount, and their food shortage has ended as they managed to grow. They got a really good harvest and managed to get a lot of food, which ended their food death thingy. So they've expanded a lot too, as you can tell. I don't to get A. Made this little passage so they don't lose their stuff. Ooh, capital. I gotta make their capital. It's 6, right? This is 6. This is 6. This is 6. Yeah, it's 6. Recorded it perfectly. Their capital is right over here at the tip. Tippity tippity toppity. And they have a little city over here. That's their land. And they've actually now they've made a little city on the coast now. On this little itty bitty river now. That's nice. So they've reached the end of the river, and life is good up there. So they want to get there and quick. They actually found whatever his name. I forgot his name already. That's crazy. World's greatest explorer forgotten within days of finding the new land. They find the islands and claim them, so they make it a kind of like easier route, so they can go there quicker, and they make. Hmm. Hmm. Looks fishy here. Okay. They keep expanding. Oh, this is really far. We're not gonna make it there within for a couple years. So they just expand across the coast now. They realize they ain't gonna make it there anytime soon. They're for the best. They make a new city here, and that's the wrong color. Oh, it's on the right color. That's why. Oh, I gotta paint this on. They make a new city right here. New city, yay! And another one right here. So they're doing pretty good. They have a good amount of cities, reasonable cities. They actually claimed all of this, which is nice. Really hard because it's hard to travel through there. They're in. This is Qatar, right? I sort of got from. What do I think this is Bhutan? Why do I think that was Bhutan? Because Bhutan's like up here. India's like this. They're kind of like that in Bhutan, and there's Nepal over here. But I don't know what the hell that one's called again. I forgot. Bhutan. They sailed the boat out and claimed this little island. You know, that's nice. That's not nice. These guys don't want to share with the main empire. They're already huge and powerful with this river. They say, hey, can you ship us the resources now? They're like, you know what? No. I'm not giving you any of this. It's ours. We're claiming it as our land, not your land. They're like, what? This is ours. And rebellion starts right in the center of the city, and who knew? With barely any proper resources, that is. And with most people wanting to actually are willing to do this and are just joining forces, they just boop and independence. And it's yep, that was just that easy. And they don't recognize them like, no, you're ours, you're ours. Like, no, we're not. And they just send troops to march in, and these guys, of course, get mad and they just kill them. And that's a whole mess. And well, look at that. They're connected to the main Nile River. The big boy. The big boy. The big boy. Why do I keep on saying the big boy? It's a damn big river. It's like the Nile. Like, isn't the Nile like the biggest in the world, or is it the Amazon? No. They found another split. I think I'm gonna make it to this damn lake. So now having all of these resources, farming, you're able to ship them basically everywhere in the nation. They can uh, bulk up basically. New city right along the edge. And this one, oh god. This one, it's their capital now. That city turned to their capital. Whoa, no, no. Having so much food, they can literally trade with anyone they want because they're so rich. So much riches. How long have I been recording this? Oh my god. Only, wow, that's, what? What? I feel like that's been a lot longer. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I think this limits it to how high. Yep, I'm right. Yeah, you can't. If I just limit it to this, yeah, you can probably barely hear me. Yeah, put that back to max. Actually, but yeah, yeah, they keep expanding along the rivers, their favorite rivers. Now, someone on the rivers, everyone is talking about this. This is like the biggest discovery in the. This looks like a weird legs, the neck, the face, the eyeball. Look at how this is. Like a little wing or something. I don't know. Looks like an animal. Like some kind of weird animal. Like mutated chicken or something. I don't know. These people, let's talk about them. They're obviously mad. Hella mad. Now they want some of these now. They sent a lot of scouts, and as scouts I mean explorers, to go explore, but these guys probably just stop here and live there. And then of course they would leave, and they discovered this, this humongous lake connected to rivers upon rivers. So of course they actually went back here, stopped here, and then went to them. Like, hey, big lake, and they could, according to our calculations, it should be over here. Yeah. So they start their minor little. They don't want to do it too big because they could waste a lot of resources going into a desert like this. Just desert. Not really. I think it's more like, what's that one called? Like the land. It's like desert, and it's like rainforest, like nice land, and this is like desert, and this is like that in between zone. I don't remember what it's called. But it's like really prone to like desertification or something because it's like, it's weird. It's like the area there. Basically, I think it's like the savannah. The savannah. They keep going and they found it. Like, oh my god, water. They just expand across this entire water. And they find a lake. They found lake. They found river. They're like, whoa, guys, river. They saw that this one ends, which is like, oh. So now this is gonna be their main route for transporting food into this little place. New city. It's right along here. So anyone wants to get through, they have to go through the cities and pay taxes. So now this is a pretty big trade spot now for bringing home food and trading everything for it. Cause no, ooh, why did I just change the tolerance? Why do I feel my computer keeps getting darker for like a second, and then just gets brighter? Crazy. Oh, what have I done? So they start strengthening up the grand passageway, making it bulky. Since now this can be like a humongous like trade network. So they keep just going. They're like, wow, this is really nice. This is really cool. And they're like, wow, I can see why they rebelled, man. This is awesome. Not they did it. They increased troop numbers a good amount because they don't want people rebelling and then they losing it. Another water source. Especially the good old lake. I think this is supposed to be like a water. Yeah, so this is like a lake, but it's too tiny so that you can't see the water. So they found another little itty bitty lake. I haven't checked up on these guys in a long time. Turns out they've completely taken Bhutan. But they're doing good too. They've reached Iran. This is Iran, right? Mm-hmm. Leave me alone. They're in Iran. I hope this is Iran a lot. I'm gonna look really dumb. Pretty and dumb. Like the monkey from Toy Story like 2 or something. His little freaking clapping hands. Freaking jail cell monkey. Warden. And they're almost at a river too. They're awfully close to one. Which is called, this is the Red Sea, right? What's the Red Sea? What the hell? The Arabian Sea? I don't know. I'm good at naming nations. Actually, I haven't done that in forever. Look at that. My god, the river's just getting painted blue. As people up here are at, and people are kind of unhappy with this nation right now since they've been doing a lot of bad things. Slavery is a really big problem. You find a random person that you don't know who they are, slave. So slavery is a really big issue in this country, and a lot of people don't like it. You guys have 4 cities. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. You guys have 3, because let me see. I'm finding capitals too. Capitals too. They introduced a new mainland city right here to make sure this works. You know what happens up here when you have people that are mad? You guessed it, a rebellion starts. This nation promises freedom for slaves and stuff. And it's starting all over their nation, including capital. And capital is actually captured by said rebellions. You have rebellions all over your nation. That's not a good thing. It means we're gonna collapse and die. And like every single city has already been captured by rebellions. Rebellions are at the border of these guys, and these guys are scared to hell. They don't want these guys coming into their territory. As slaves stop working and join the rebellions, and a lot of rebellions, a lot of rebellions. This is not looking good for them. Their entire nation is now filled with rebellion. And their capital is actually cut off now from getting any outside help, and most of the I just realized I'm putting in the ocean. Most of the land around the capital too is captured. Now they're in this massive wasteland. Their other city has been captured. Other their islands, which have like little itty bitty naval bases, are being absolutely slaughtered. So now this nation is in shambles now. And they were not prepared for this. All the rebellions are saying, we're gonna fully free you. Would you look at that? A new rebellion. These are the people who are basically these guys, but they're forming a new nation, and it's actually a rebellion to stop these people from expanding and forming their nation. These are happening all over the place too. The entire area is rebellion. So basically, their nation is in a civil war. Basically, but it's unofficial civil war. So people unite and start just. It's kind of like a protection custody type of thing. Like they're expanding, claiming the nation, so they can't claim the nation. But it's not actually them fighting. Of course, they're fighting too. They're fighting back. And of course, they're fighting too. They're not just doing nothing. They realize these people as good people and are these guys are like Christian type of things. And like these people are sent from God to save us. Like people, these ones are these rebellions are here like unite. But still, the nation is in shambles and probably won't recover from this. And every single rebellion is covered. This entire area has been covered by them. This. Now they're just getting absolutely demolished. The original blues are not doing that. Can I even call them original? They're not the first nation here. And eventually, the whole nation falls into like their protective custody thing. Almost the whole nation. Now it's just this little sliver of it. Now this is fallen. But these guys are like, we need to take all of this. They quickly start advancing in. So yeah, civil war basically. And they capture this. So now, the civil war. Who will win? We push into the protective custody nation and destroy them right there. Quickly, this side of part is pretty weak. They have the capital, so that's pretty good. This side is basically gone. But doesn't mean they can fight a bit. Managed to get access to the ocean. And make a small landing and actually free the capital from the. So it's basically the American Civil War, but a lot earlier. And with a lot less advanced weapons. Their main goal is to recapture cities and stuff. And that's kind of what they're doing. They've already recaptured 2 cities. Almost all of them. People need to free the city before they can do it. And they do. Now they're supplying the city with proper needs. And they managed to push them out and push them back. And this side just, nope. It's gone. It's gone. Capture back that one of the islands and push back a little bit over here. Now with this, they try to push back to reclaim the capital since they really need that capital. The capital is like money. So this side is basically, but they have one final push. I picked the wrong color now. And recapture the city and the island. And make a major push on both sides for this. So now this is kind of like a stalemate, but they managed to push in a good amount before it re-stalemated, and they're also fighting on the island for some reason. The island is like split in half. It's really awkward. Same with this island. There's a lot of splitting in half. They're trying to like claim it. Eventually they claim the island and it leads to the invasion of in here, down here, which leads to a big push and end for this. Honestly, it looks like these guys are probably gonna win. Which is bad for the Greens, because the Greens obviously do not want them to win. They're the enemies. So the Greens, they're able to push back a little bit. This side of they need to keep alive, because they just need to, and eventually, yeah. So this is their main front, the battle for the capital. They actually managed to push back a lot, and they're like halfway into the capital. Look, I'll show you guys. This is the what the capital currently looks like. It's split between these two. It currently looks like that. That's what the capital looks like. Yeah, that's currently what the capital looks like. It's completely split. And yeah. So now the war rages on. When you have a size 2 brush, not many things are happening. Do a little encirclement in here, and they actually do it. It happens. It worked. Encirclement. They also make a little landing and free the capital. Now they have all the capital, and they have 2 cities, which is nice. And remember, one good city and then the capital. Capital's a tiebreaker basically because it has the most resources and stuff. They keep pushing, And eventually trying to keep down uprisings from the Greens is impossible. The Greens are winning this war, and this is a lot of captured territory that were from the Greens. And you'll see the occasional big lob from the original, but they actually reclaim all this as theirs, since technically this is theirs. And they actually they start fighting the rebellion, which is surprising because they're helping them. And they're like, no, we want to fight our battles instead of having these people fight for us. And they take there and like push through, and they kind of like, and it's weird because these guys push in at the same time and capture that, and they capture this. But they realize that they're gonna have to fight their original nation and the rebellion. The Greens are like, and of course rebellions happen inside the original Blues, and they were not expecting them to be the Greens to attack them, even though they announced it that they were here to attack them. But luckily, the Blues are actually relatively weak, so they start pushing in again. So yeah, civil war happening. That's something. In the meantime, actually huge. They now border each other. Yep, and they actually cut them off from the rivers, from the southern points of these rivers. But they're like, dude, what the hell? And they capture all this. I'm like, hee loser. And then something happens for the first time ever. We have a declaration of war. The Reds attack. Should I recode them? I'm gonna recode them to this color. Yeah, because it's wonky. I thought they have so much land. Yeah, I think that's all of it, technically. Oh my god, they got freaking 2 pixels. They declare war. And they're like, what? They declare war? Actually, no, I'm not gonna do this. This is weird. And they're like, wait, why would you do this to us? Oh my god, I'm clicking shift. Is it changing the motion? Oh, it's recoloring the river. That's so random. So they push in through here. And they like move up their troops through here. And they land in here and push up. And they just keep going. They really don't want them to live anymore. Senor ours. And they send up their troops up like this. Again, and they make a landing. Moving through, capturing 2 of 3 of their cities and their capital. They collapse here. Troops push up and try to aim for this last city, and mainly because big city gone, and they're basically gone. Now that all their big cities are gone, they just surrender. They don't have much to do. Their troops are basically dead. Oh. Their troops are dead. There's no reason to fight them anymore other than please kill Japan. Uh, no. But they didn't do it for the land, actually. They did it to make them. They're a puppet now. They're a puppet of them. Like, yeah, you thought that we were weak and puny villains. So now they kind of have two capital cities, capital cities that are decent capitals. Their official city. Built up a couple more cities and stuff. So this little rebellion that happened, I mean not rebellion, Civil War time. This little one that was up here, it's doing pretty good. The south is collapsing for them. For these blue. This is the last of the blues. So the greens are about to fully make the blues free. Not free, but like, as in your hours type of free. And the collapses right there is troops. There's barely any troops left in here, so they can kind of die. Oh, it has a weird question. Keep pushing up and manage to cut them off, and so now they realize that their rebellion is basically gone. They invade the islands and use them as footholds to start naval invasions. Don't care what you say, boats are a thing now. Look, now it's been an hour. Almost, actually, yeah, no, almost. It's only been an hour. Okay, not that. So they keep pushing up, and the rebellion is. They surrender on terms that they get to live in Europe. Okay. So, where are they gonna live? They decide, and they decide, and they decide up here. I'm just kidding. But it's on terms that they don't like. They don't get to keep the city, and their territory is split in half. And any territory that is close to, like any town that's close to becoming a city, is theirs. They literally have like no city stuff. This, no, I'm not gonna give them that. This just looks weird. And there they are. That's their nation after the Civil War. So now the Sanya people are kind of in shambles, so they need to expand and get food and resources since other people are mad, so we need to quickly go. Start expanding and try to get the river, but it's already too late, they're already here. They knew about the river because they had explorers already ready to claim the land. They're like, darn. So their best bet is to just, and they do it. They do what they were gonna do, and they do it. It works. They claim all this lake right here. I don't know which river this is. Is it the Tigris or the other one? The Euphrates? The other one? The Euphrates River? I don't know. I know there's a Tigris and there's another one. The one must be it. Like stand up along the river. Wow. Pretty solid map. So these people are mad that they are stuck with these people. But they, of course, can expand and get them territory money, because why not? So now it's been about a couple thousand years now since the first little dot was formed. I keep on clicking shift. It's so weird. That's so random and awkward. You know, I still haven't eaten. That's weird. And after this, these guys decide, no, we're done with you. And they rebel again. Again. That's crazy. Targeting cities. They're like, oh, you guys rebelled again? And they're like, yeah. And they cut off parts of the empire just like that. Knowing that there's troops up there, they're rushing down, so they need to quickly push and collapse. And they collapse all of that. Not collapse, but like capture all of this. And the rebellion starts down here, meaning the rebellion is officially fighting them. And small part slavery. They don't really want to attack them too much. They kind of just want to gain freedom. And eventually, as their troops march down there, see that they've already too late and cut off from resources and stuff. So their main goal is to get control of the rivers again, and they do. They have full control. Never mind, they don't have full control. There's troops stationed along these rivers to make sure no one steals from them and stuff, but they kind of don't work too well. This part of them kind of collapses, and this part. As the troops keep pushing in all over the place, there's just settlements everywhere, and these troops and everyone's morale is low. Including the rebellions. The rebellions' morale is even lower since chances of them winning against the currently strongest empire in the world are low, but they actually just encircle everything. Oh my god, I keep on clicking shift. Circle everything and hope for the best, and it's kind of working. So they kind of just sit in these places and just stabby, and just sit here. And then eventually, when there's basically no troops, they'll just push it in and they die. They've done this in several attempts, and it's working so far, and doing really good. Up here, up in the north, this part is almost gone. They're gone. And they collapse. Not wanting to smoke, they basically surrender. Oh, well, I guess they surrendered too. And what's left is a couple pieces of their puppet, and they're free. And they sign a Declaration of Independence saying that no, we're not under your damn control anymore, you freaking fatty. So now that they're not under control, they're technically at war with them, though, which is, well, not good. But they peace out, and hey, but they don't really claim much of their territory that they got from fighting them. That's all they get. Not, but they're happy that they're free now again. Again. So they quickly start expanding across the river as fast as they can, because they don't want them to come up and like steal it or something. So they're basically the Egyptians now, because they have a basically expanding across the Nile. They haven't touched the ocean in years, so they start expanding to go get it, to go get some ocean. They reach the ocean, yay! They also reach some of their ocean cities, which they don't like them to be next to. City there, yay! And they put a city like right next to the river right here. Now they're doing pretty good, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Of course, now they have a couple. They just spawn in a couple cities like that. All these trading villages and stuff are turning into pretty big cities now. And you know these people too. They're doing good with the little lake right here, although they are a bit mad that they kind of stole all that. And they said, I don't care. It's ours. Legally. I said, well, actually, we don't care because, like, we stole it from you before you could claim it, so technically it's our land. And they said, no, it's ours because, God said so. Like, no. Well, we don't care because we don't believe in God. We're a different religion. And they're just getting. Why is it turning that color? Oh my god, that's ugly color. And they're just getting rich by the second because of how much water. But eventually, new empire is going to form. So we're at 4. 4 is pretty good. Explorers from here, they leave and just go up and hope for the best. So eventually, they make it to the Nile Delta and the Mediterranean Sea. That's when this new empire forms. And they're like, we're new. We're gonna claim all of this. It's ours. And they go down a little bit, and they go down a little bit, and they go down a little bit. End up looking something like this. Did I say they were the Egyptians? No, these guys are now. They're literally in like the prime time spot to be the Egyptians right now. They have a lot of access to water for agricultural. I feel like these little islands are good because it's like the little islands. They just have like a lot of water and stuff. Like they're able to farm. Like they're literally all water, surrounded by ocean. So now they expand a lot, and a couple people get eaten by crocodiles. You know, just a little bit. And guess what? Why does it turn that color? I don't like that. Ugh, gross. But a small little rebellion forms, and they just don't really like them. Why? But knows they just really wanted independence. These people up here, it's kind of like the same as the other people. They just really didn't want to deal with them and share the resources, even though they kind of were. But now they don't want it anymore, so they want independence, so they don't have to anymore. And not working. And it's working actually. They're actually fighting off and winning. Because the country they're fighting is so freaking weak. And they're like, you want in the country, they're what they're who they're fighting is like, you want independence, man. Like, can we not do this? And they just get independence like that, and now they have independence. But they're still attacking them because why not? And it's getting them really annoyed. And then they have a peace treaty. Treaty cuts off all of this from them. The reason behind the rebellion was secretly because they just didn't like the king. He was really mean and was actually stealing food from these people, which is why they said they didn't want to share the food. And I'm not just making things up. King was just a mean guy. He's just a mean guy. So now they're like, oh man, we lost a lot of river there. Like, we don't care. It's ours now. So they have their capital and they place it now. I can't. Oh, I need to put their capital. Eventually, they make their capital. It's right along here. And they have their little cities. Now just scattered along. So they already have 4 cities and they just started off. That's something. These guys only have 2 cities, including capital. And they make another one in the river. Also have 3 cities, which is crazy. These guys are already being so rich with all the stuff they're able to farm. Literally learning Egyptian as we speak. They're literally getting rich and rich and rich. They're printing money. These guys too, they're pretty big cities now. The Reds are actually doing good now too. In the meantime, they've expanded a lot off the coast since the last time. When was the last time we expanded them? When the rebellion happened for them. They had the rebellion. It's been along far, but they don't really use this land since it's pretty dry up here. That's the wrong color. That's the really wrong color. This one, yeah. These guys also extended. Ew. I'm clicking shift. They've expanded a lot too. They want to get to other parts, but so they've kind of circled those guys. They've actually expanded far. Yeah, they're almost into India and Pakistan, and they've reached a river, and they're like, oh my god, an actual river that we didn't have to get stolen from us. So, but they think about the river though. Think how to keep people from not rebelling as they claim river territory. So don't steal food from people. They jot that down really quick. You know, don't expand too much into the river. rebel for some reason because they won't have the river. I think I'm gonna end it for my first Wisco video. Comment if you guys liked this. I'll 100% be doing more videos about this and the Grand State War. If you really do like my videos, please subscribe, like, and comment if you want one. Yeah, thanks. That will be all for this video, and yeah, thanks. Peace out.